Hello everybody, welcome back to Topher Pro. I am your host Topher and I am fucking pumped. Since we're in quarantine right now, I really don't have any excuse to not put out more videos than I should be, so this is going to be Topher Pro Quarantine Edition. There's no real difference. We're just going to be gauging my insanity as the weeks wear on. So since I've got a streak going with the dessert videos, I figured I'd follow the cupcake video with a cheesecake recipe. I'm going to be doing two different variations with a twist. It's not really a twist when it's in the title, so fuck it. So yeah, that's all the introduction we need. Follow along at home. It's not like you've got anything better to do. Stay safe, stay healthy. I've lost track of the days, and let's begin. The first recipe we'll work with is a New York-style cheesecake with raspberry topping, which starts with a dozen full graham crackers crumbled up into a food processor. Add half a cup of melted butter and process until you have a fine, fully mixed crumble. Take a 10-inch springform pan, spray with non-stick spray, and press the crumble down with any flat object or your hands until it's spread evenly on the base of the pan. Set the pan in a 325-degree oven for 12 to 15 minutes to par bake to a golden brown, and we'll move our focus to the cream cheese filling. Place 5 blocks of room temperature cream cheese into a large mixing bowl and work down with a spoon until it's more malleable. This will be a multi-step mixing process, so to begin we'll add 10 tablespoons of sugar and blend together with an electric mixer. Then add 1 tablespoon of salt and 10 more tablespoons of sugar and thoroughly mix once again. Add a third of a cup of sour cream and a teaspoon of vanilla, a little more won't hurt, and mix a third time. Scrape the sides of the bowl to incorporate all of the ingredients, and now we'll start adding our eggs, a total of 8, mixing after adding 2 at a time. Mix until everything is completely blended and there are no clumps remaining in the mixture. Once our graham cracker crust has cooled down, pour the cream cheese batter over top, and we'll take a fork to the top layer to not only smooth it out, but to also get rid of any air bubbles that rise to the top. This will ensure that there are no cracks in your cheesecake once it's completely baked off. And lastly, add a small carton of raspberries to the blender and alternate between processing and pressing down with a spoon until you have a smooth puree. Then transfer the raspberries to a sieve placed over a bowl and press the puree through with the utensil to gather the raspberry sauce. Generously pour on top of the cheesecake mix and then take a toothpick and run it through the top layer to create a swirl pattern. And to make absolute sure that you don't have any cracks in your cheesecake, wrap the springform pan in 2 sheets of aluminum foil and place in a baking tray with hot water poured inside up to the edge. This will keep your cheesecake moist and prevent any cracks. Put the cheesecake tray in the oven at 350 degrees for 1 hour, and then turn off the oven and leave the cheesecake in for an additional hour. This will give you even baking throughout your cheesecake and stop it from overbaking or burning. While that's baking, we'll start on our next dessert, an Oreo cheesecake, which we'll make in a 7-inch springform pan since it's the only other one I had on hand. Start with 10 to 12 Oreos and break them down into the food processor, processing to get them to a finer consistency. Add 2 tablespoons of melted butter and process once more until everything is combined. Like before, spray down your springform pan and press the crumb mixture into the base and par bake for around 10 minutes. For the cream cheese batter, place 2 blocks of room temperature cream cheese into the mixing bowl, add half a cup of sugar, and a teaspoon of vanilla. Mix together and add in 2 eggs, mixing until consistent. Crumble in another handful of Oreos and we're about ready for topping. Take the par-baked pan and pour in your Oreo batter. Smooth out the top layer until it's leveled off, and then sprinkle a few more Oreo crumbles on top. Now that our raspberry swirl cheesecake is finished cooking, let's pull it out and take a look. God damn it, the edges are brown! It's brown! And look at it, it's cracked! I did everything right! Why is it ruined? God fucking damn it! By the way, a little jiggle is perfectly normal for a cheesecake. In fact, it means you baked it just right. If it was stiff, then you really fucked up. Cut around the sides of the cheesecake, unclip the side of the springform pan, and gently lift it away from the cheesecake. Place it covered or uncovered in the refrigerator, and we'll bring our attention back to the Oreo recipe. Set the oven back to 350 degrees and bake the Oreo cheesecake for about 40 to 45 minutes. Once it's baked, pull it out of the oven, cut along the edge, and release the springform side. Place alongside the other cheesecake and let both of them refrigerate from 4 hours to overnight. Once they've completely chilled, bring back out of the refrigerator, cut out some big slices, and plate up. And that is 2 different takes on the classic cheesecake dessert. Hey, look at that. These didn't turn out all that bad. Then carefully grab out your collection of cooked dried scorpions, peel them out of their plastic prison, put the little one on the little cheesecake slice and the big one on the big cheesecake slice. Make sure to reattach the claw and other broken appendages, and voila, this is now the perfect, classic cheesecake Grandma used to make. Oh, now this is more like it. Now let's start with the Oreo cheesecake because it's got the smaller scorpion. Very rich. You get a little bit of Oreo in every bite. It's creamy. It's got a good crunch to it. There's a little bit of the Oreo and the scorpion all at once. So yeah, that's pretty good. But let's get to the prize piece for the day. Stinger, barb, and all. Let's just localize everything to the front so we can just get one big bite. Raspberry swirl cheesecake. Fuck you, scorpion. The flavor doesn't hit you all at once. It's a lot more subtle than the Oreo cheesecake. Well, that's because we went with the plain cheesecake flavor, but there's just a hint of raspberry. It's velvety, very creamy finish. And the raspberry adds just a little bit of tartness to bring out the flavor. And it's just the right amount of crust where it's not overbearing. See, if you don't eat the cheesecake fast enough, then all you start tasting is the dried scorpion at the end. So yeah, that's 2 variations on cheesecake. If you're a cheesecake connoisseur or just a sweet tooth in general, I would definitely recommend making the raspberry swirl cheesecake. It's just got the right amount of sweet and flavor. And the Oreo cheesecake is just very decadent and a surefire hit for the chocolate lovers. So yeah, I think that's going to be all for today. Thank you for watching the video. I have more on the channel if you want to check those out, but do not subscribe. I already have enough. Have a great day, be safe, and